In May of 1925, 5 of the most successful dealers in the French scrap metal business found themselves invited to an official but highly confidential meeting with the Deputy Director General of the Ministry of Post and Telegraphs at the Hotel Crillon, then the most luxurious hotel in Paris. When the businessmen arrived, it was the Director General himself, a Monsieur Lustig, who met them in a swank suite on the top floor. The businessmen had no idea why they had been summoned to this meeting and were bursting with curiosity. After drinks, the director explained, "Gentlemen," he said, "this is an urgent matter that requires complete secrecy. The government is going to have to tear down the Eiffel Tower." The dealers listened in stunned silence as the director explained that the tower, as recently reported in the news, desperately needed repairs. Originally meant as a temporary structure for the Exposition of 1889, its maintenance costs had soared over the years. Now, in a time of fiscal crisis, the government would have to spend millions to fix it. Many Parisians considered the Eiffel Tower an eyesore and would be delighted to see it go. Over time, even tourists would forget about it. It would live on in photographs and postcards. "Gentlemen," Lustig said, "you are all invited to make the government an offer for the Eiffel Tower." He gave the businessmen sheets of government stationery filled with figures, such as the tonnage of the tower's metal. Their eyes popped as they calculated how much they could make from the scrap. Then Lustig led them to a waiting limo, which brought them to the Eiffel Tower. Flashing an official badge, he guided them through the area, spicing his tour with amusing anecdotes. At the end of the visit, he thanked them and asked them to have their offers delivered to his suite within 4 days. Several days after the offers were submitted, one of the 5, Monsieur P, received notice that his bid was the winner. To secure the sale, he should come to the suite at the hotel within 2 days, bearing a certified check for more than 250,000 francs, equivalent today to about 1,000, a quarter of the total price. On delivery of the check, he would receive the documents confirming his ownership of the Eiffel Tower. Monsieur P was excited. He would go down in history as the man who had bought and torn down the infamous landmark. But by the time he arrived at the suite, check in hand, he was beginning to have doubts about the whole affair. Why meet in a hotel instead of a government building? Why hadn't he heard from other officials? Was this a hoax? A scam? As he listened to Lustig discuss the arrangements for the scrapping of the tower, he hesitated and contemplated backing out. Suddenly, however, he realized that the director had changed his tone. Instead of talking about the tower, Lustig was complaining about his low salary, his wife's desire for a fur coat, and how galling it was to work hard and be unappreciated. It dawned on Monsieur P that this high government official was asking for a bribe. The effect on him, though, was not outrage, but relief. Now he was sure that Lustig was for real, since in all of his previous encounters with French bureaucrats, they had inevitably asked for a little greasing of the palm. His confidence restored, Monsieur P slipped the director several thousand francs in bills, then handed him the certified check. In return, he received the documentation, including an impressive-looking bill of sale. He left the hotel, dreaming of the profits and fame to come. Over the next few days, however, as Monsieur P waited for correspondence from the government, he began to realize that something was amiss. A few telephone calls made it clear that there was no Deputy Director General Lustig, and there were no plans to destroy the Eiffel Tower. He had been bilked of over 250,000 francs. Monsieur P never went to the police. He knew what kind of reputation he would get if word got out that he had fallen for one of the most audaciously absurd cons in history. Besides the public humiliation, it would have been business suicide.